I'm Stephen Priest with Class1Modelworks.com, and today I would like to show you our new G40 with true fans. So when we talk about true fans, one of the big things that locomotives have, but our model railroad world until recently really has never embraced, we have a lot of stagnant fans out there that we want to get rid of. We want to kill that trend. So we've done a G40 with a technology that we call true fans, and it's not just motors that turn on with the press button of the decoder. That's not what it is at all. It's actually an entire microprocessor driven system, and what the system does is it actually mimics the warming up of the radiator water, and that then turns on thermostats which operate fans that are built into the roof of the locomotive. The reason EMD decided to use multiple fans is because of the fact that each of these fan motors is a 75 horsepower motor. So you're stealing a lot of electricity, tractive effort from your locomotive. So you're lowering the horsepower of your locomotive anytime you turn a fan on. So what EMD did is they said, hey, we're going to put multiple fans in there so we can lessen that impact and only turn them on when they need to be turned on. So what we've done is we've created a computerized system, a microprocessor that mimics that in model form. So if you look at the top of the locomotive, you have from the front to the rear, you have fan 1, fan 2, and fan 3. And these fans turn on and off when they are needed, or basically what the term is called when they are called by their thermostat. So when the locomotive is idling, or when it's running really slow, the locomotive's in speed step 1 right here, you'll notice fan 1 is on, but fan 2 is drifting in reverse. So this is the second cool thing about EMD. Inside of these radiator intakes, they're shutters. They're like Venetian blinds. So what they do is they'll close. So the first step is they're closed, and you're sucking air in through your radiator intakes, down through your radiator core, and back out number 1 radiator. So the air is drawn through the radiator core twice, which is really cool. And so what that does when you're drawing air in is very often your second fan here will drift backwards because the air is being drawn in and then back up through number 1. So, and this is all really cool. When I was a train master at Argentine in Kansas City in the yard, motive power would come in and I'd look down on it all day. And I'm like, oh my gosh, these fans do all kinds of things. They don't just sit there off. So I'm like, we've got it. When we build a locomotive, we've got to do this. So then the second thing is as we begin to call or work the locomotive harder, what you're going to see is, you're going to see that second fan, and I'm holding the locomotive, that second fan, what it's going to do is it's going to stop rotating in reverse. In other words, it's going to stop drafting, and it's going to energize. And you notice the momentum on that, how it didn't just shut right off and then turn right on at 100 miles an hour. So now the second radiator fan is on, and the intake shutters are open at this point now. So now we are drawing air in from the sides and out through the roof of the radiator. Now the third phase is, obviously we have a third fan. The third fan will do the same thing. As it's called upon, as we get hot enough, it will actually activate as well, and now you've got all 3 cooling fans. Now I'll tell you, the third fan is not run very much. They try to avoid running it. It's kind of like that last ditch effort, hey, the locomotive's really, really hot thing, and so they try to do that. So same thing happens on the way down. As we begin to throttle down, what's going to happen is eventually the radiator water gets cooled and number 2 fan is going to stop, the shutters are going to close, and we're going to go back to that phase where that middle fan is now drifting. It's drafting or drifting. Now, we have one other thing we can do with our locomotive, and this is something that actually requires the throttle to do, and that is we're going to go into dynamic brake. So when I go into dynamic brake, that activates the dynamic fan, and it also activates the radiator fans. So now we have the complete set of fans operating. And conversely, when we come out of dynamic, the same thing happens. It goes back, the radiator wall starts to cool off, and then we call upon whatever fan we need just to run at that time. And that's how it works. And that is one of the coolest things about it is the fact that one of the coolest things is that
for the cooler,
most of that is automatic. You're not punching buttons on your throttle. Oh, I got to turn fan 1 on. Oh, fan 2 now. No, it's all automated. It's all run by a microprocessor. So it's sweet. And if the engine happens to be sitting by itself, like at a locomotive facility, those fans will cycle on and off as they detect the radiator water warming up and cooling off.
Okay,
So yeah, so there's
Perfect.
a lot of really cool things built into TrueFans. So that's how she works.